Hey everyone, and welcome to Top Think. Today we're going to learn about how to memorize anything 10 times faster. Now, let's begin. The method of Loci is the oldest mnemonic tool in the world today. A mnemonic tool is a shortcut or abbreviation that helps you remember important information like names, places, and numbers. Most mnemonic devices are short and simple, like acronyms and mnemonic phrases. For example, the mnemonic phrase, "Mother visits every Monday, just stays until noon," helps people remember the 8 planets in our solar system. Phrases and acronyms are perfect tools for memorizing small bits of information. Before a test or presentation, you can use these shortcuts to keep these kernels of information lodged in your memory. But what if you need a more powerful tool? What mnemonic devices help you memorize more complicated concepts? According to Roman legend, the method of Loci was invented by a poet named Simonides of Ceos. One day, Simonides was invited to a dinner party in the grand hall of a nobleman's palace where he would recite a poem for the nobleman's honored guests. After delivering his poem, Simonides was called outside the palace to receive a message. In his absence, the roof of the palace collapsed into the grand hall, and Simonides was the only survivor. News of the tragedy spread throughout the city. Soon, friends of the deceased arrived to bury their loved ones, but under the wreckage and rubble, no one could tell who was who. Luckily, Simonides remembered the layout of the palace. By imagining each table and chair in the dining hall, he could identify where each person was sitting. Whether or not this story is true, the method of Loci, later nicknamed the Memory Palace, was the most popular mnemonic tool in the world for several centuries. Today, the method of Loci is used by the most advanced memorizers in the world. Competitors at the World Memory Championship use memory palaces to retain long sequences of numbers, letters, and playing cards. Like Simonides in the Grand Hall, these memorizers create associations between pieces of information and familiar spaces. A memorizer might, for example, use their hometown as their memory palace. To store information, they imagine themselves navigating the streets of their hometown, usually walking along a familiar route. Each time they want to store a piece of information, they place that piece of information on or inside a distinctive object called a loci. Alright, let's say the memorizer is encoding a stack of playing cards. To memorize those cards in order, they put a king of hearts in the window of their favorite bakery, a queen of spades on the street corner, and an ace of diamonds under the doormat by their front door. But how do you recall everything you've stored in your memory palace? Well, to retrieve each piece of information, they walk along their route and they stop at every loci. There, they find something that jogs their memory. When they stop at the bakery, they find a king of hearts. When they walk down to the street corner, they see a queen of spades, and under their doormat, they discover an ace of diamonds. World-renowned memorizers create lengthy journeys with hundreds of distinctive loci. While seasoned veterans have fine-tuned their memory palaces, everyone can use the method of Loci. In fact, you can create a memory palace of your own in 5 simple steps. Number 1. Choose your palace. Before you begin memorizing 60,000 digits of pi, you have to choose a location to store your memories. The best memory palaces are spaces that you know like the back of your hand. Many memorizers use their houses because they're already familiar with every nook and cranny. Others make memory palaces out of their streets, neighborhoods, and offices. Whatever you choose, a good memory palace must satisfy 3 requirements. First, there must be a path, a journey, or a route. That's how you store information in order, by following a predetermined path through your memory palace. Second, your palace must be memorable. Don't pick a random location that you've only visited once in your life. If you aren't familiar with your palace, then you won't be able to store information effectively. And third, your palace should be realistic and distinct. It's tempting to choose massive castles or beautiful countrysides for your memory palace, but locations like these can be confusing. Instead, choose a finite location like a house and/or a street because you can navigate those places quickly and easily. Number 2. Distinctive features. Once you've chosen your memory palace, it's time to flesh out the details. Alright, let's say you, like many memorizers, have chosen your home as your memory palace. Within your home, think about distinctive features, objects, or spaces where you might put something important. These will become your loci. In your bedroom, potential loci may include your bed, your nightstand, or your closet. These loci act as storage points or memory slots for each piece of information that you want to remember. To streamline this process, think about your loci in order. When selecting your memory palace, you may have chosen a path, which you can use to explore your palace. You're going to pick distinctive objects or loci that follow your route. That way, you can access your loci in order. Alright, let's try an example. You've chosen your house to be your memory palace. Your path starts in your bedroom and it ends in your kitchen. So the first loci might be your bed, the second could be your closet, and the third could be a painting in the hallway. Let's keep defining these distinctive loci until you reach the end of your imaginary journey. Number 3. Memorize your palace. Have you selected loci within your palace? Now that you've chosen your memory slots, it's time to commit those slots to memory. There are many ways to study and memorize your palace. You could physically travel the route through your palace. If your route spans from your bedroom to your kitchen, walk that route several times in a row. Take special notice of the loci you've chosen and the order in which they appear. If you can't physically walk through your palace, you can also draw a map of your palace. Within your map, detail the individual memory slots you've chosen. Where do they appear? What do they look like? The more details that you provide, the more you're going to remember. Number 4. Fill your slots. You've memorized your routes, you've chosen your loci, and now it's time to fill your memory slots with pieces of information. Let's run through a very simple example. Imagine you want to remember an ordered list of 10 names. Go into your memory palace and start at the beginning of your route, in this case, your bedroom. Your first memory slot is located under your pillow. To stimulate your memory at a later date, just place something under your pillow that reminds you of the first name on your list. Let's say the first name on your list is John. You might place a jacket under your pillow to remind you of the letter J. Now let's move to your second memory slot, the drawer in your nightstand. Inside that drawer, place an object that reminds you of the second item on your list. If the second name on your list is Mary, you might put a wedding ring into your nightstand to jog your memory. Now repeat this process for every empty memory slot in your palace. Number 5. Build familiarity. Alright, now that your slots are filled, spend time visualizing your palace, your loci, and the objects you've placed inside. In the beginning, you may have trouble accessing your loci. It may take more than one pass to store information inside your palace. Don't be discouraged. Experienced users have walked through their palace hundreds, maybe thousands of times. You're still new to the process, so be patient. Even if you're memorizing something simple like a list of groceries, walk through your palace a few times. Make sure you can remember exactly where you put each item. By rehearsing your route, you'll build stronger associations in your memory and retain more information over time. Once you've refined your palace, you may want to memorize more elaborate concepts, or maybe you want to retain longer lists of information. To further improve your memory, you can weave other mnemonic tools into your memory palace. The link system, for example, transforms any list of items into a memorable story. As you follow the story you've created, you naturally encounter each item in the order you memorized it. Alright, let's say you need to memorize this list of words. 6. Mechanic. B. Cake. 8. Window. 9. Car. 10. Dog. 11. Blazer. Now, using the link system, you can transform a list of words into a simple story. Your story might sound something like this. A mechanic threw a piece of cake out the window of his car and hit a dog wearing a blazer. It's much easier for your brain to memorize information when it's woven into a story. While these mnemonic tools have incredible potential, you can and probably will stumble in the beginning. The method of loci and the link system takes years of practice to use effectively. You may find yourself forgetting where you put specific things, but that's part of the learning process. Don't change your loci or choose a different mnemonic tool. The method of loci relies on familiarity to access your incredible spatial memory, but it takes time to become familiar with any space, especially an imaginary one. So keep trying, keep refining your palace, and following your roots, because over time, your memory will improve exponentially. Hey, thank you for watching Top Think, and be sure to subscribe because more incredible content is on the way.